Hello. It's been a while since I've talked at this camera. It is December 12th, 13th at 11:30 in the morning. I think it's the 13th. I don't actually know. It's sometime around there. And I'm going to talk about people pleasers really quick. The problem with people pleasers. A lot of people hear about people pleasing and they think, oh yeah, I shouldn't be a people pleaser because that's not healthy for me, which is true. But also, I want to talk about how it's not healthy to be friends with people pleasers either, because people pleasers, unfortunately, they don't realize this, but they're not being very honest with themselves and they're not being very honest with others. How that is, so when you're a people pleaser, you want people to like you. You will say and do things to ensure that people will like you. But when you do that, you are most of the time violating your own boundaries, because let's face it, we all have boundaries inside of us. We all have things that we'd rather not do. We all have things that we don't accept. And people pleasers look externally for where they should set those boundaries instead of being mindful of the internal boundaries that they have and have already had based off of their values and what they feel, what they believe. So being friends with people pleasers can be hard because it's really easy to accidentally build resentment with people pleasers. That means that they're not being honest with you about what their boundary is, so you don't really know how to behave according to their boundary. So you may be doing things accidentally that are either hurting that person's feelings or crossing lines with them, and instead of telling you about it, they just slowly build resentment and get mad at you for doing those things. And a lot of times those people hold a belief inside of themselves that you should know better, that, of course you're doing that because you are an inconsiderate person, or of course you're doing that because, you are taking advantage of me. They don't think, well, maybe if I believe that I'm being taken advantage of when a person does that I should communicate that to them so they understand that they shouldn't do that with me, around me, whatever. So for a person who's trying to be friends with a people pleaser, it can be really difficult because you may get a creeping feeling that person secretly hates you. And you might be right. That people pleaser may be holding resentment inside of them about things that you've done because they just never told you that was a boundary for them. So it can be difficult to be a people pleaser, but it can also be really difficult to try to be friends with a people pleaser because you don't really know where the line is in the sand. You don't really know what boundaries you're crossing. Everyone has different expectations. Everyone has different values. Everyone has different beliefs. And that means that in order to be clear with one another about what matters to us, we need to communicate. We can't just expect people to know. So that is a short version of what I believe that the problem with people pleasers is from the outside perspective, not just inside yourself as a people pleaser, but trying to be friends with a people pleaser, is that you don't really get the authentic friendship experience when someone is a people pleaser. So if you're a people pleaser out there, just try to remember that yes, it is toxic for you to be pleasing people all the time, but also it's really hard for people to have an authentic and healthy relationship with you when you are accidentally building silent resentment because you have not communicated your boundaries. You're more concerned with people liking you than you are concerned with being authentically yourself. And for the people out there who are trying to be friends with people pleasers, there may be a way to communicate that to them, like, I don't think you're being authentic with your boundaries. Is this really a thing that bothered you? If you feel like that person is mad at you, go ahead and ask, because a lot of times they will tell you, and then you can defend yourself if you want. Hey, I didn't know that was a boundary. Why didn't you tell me that was something that you valued? If we're going to have a clear and honest friendship, I would prefer it if we kept this kind of thing out in the open. And also, it might be good to encourage that person, like, just be your authentic self. I want to know who you are. I don't want you to worry about whether or not I'm going to be mad or whether or not I'm going to like you. So that's my message for today. Going to work. I hope everybody is staying warm in the Midwest, and have a good one. Bye.